Good morning, everyone. In the last session, we discussed about our major project, database design, project architecture, okay, and what are the functionalities that we are having. In order to develop those functionalities, what are the tables we need to create for our application? So we identified that 5 tables are required in order to develop our application. One is product category table, next one is product table, and the next one customer table, and the next one shipping address table, and the next one order table, and the next one order items table will be available. So product category like to store mobiles, laptops, shirts, beauty products, groceries, like that. Categories will be available. For every category, multiple products will be available. In the product table, product ID, name, description, title, price, image, URL. Image we are not going to store in the database because image is a binary data. Binary data we should not store in the relational database. Okay, guys. So that's why we are going to store image URL. We are going to store image URL. So whether product is active or not, and how many units available in the stock, and what is when that is created, when it is updated, and this product belongs to which category, category ID, product category ID we are going to store. And customers are going to purchase the products. So customer details will be stored in the customer table. Address details will be available. And a customer can add the products to the cart. Cart functionality we are going to handle in the front end only. Once they add the products to the cart, then they will check out. When they go for the checkout, then we are going to provide option to purchase the products. So in multiple products, they can purchase by placing a single order. So order data we are going to store into order table. So order ID, tracking number, how many items available in the order, that we are going to see here. And the next one, here, which customer placed this order, customer ID will be available. So we should deliver this product to which address, that address ID will be maintained here. And order items, in one order, how many items we are going to purchase. Okay, the order items we are going to mention here. The order item table will be available. So in this item table, which items they purchased, what is the price of the item, that item belongs to which product, okay, and these items belongs to which order ID, that information we are going to maintain as part of this. Okay, now we need to create the project and we need to create the entities along with the association mapping in order to develop this application. Okay, how many of you able to complete the entities creation for this project, guys?
Sir,
Yes.
yeah, I have small doubt, sir. In order items table, product ID should be foreign key or not required? Product ID, sir.
You can make it as a foreign key also, no problem. Because
Yeah,
it is already belongs to the product table, right? You can
yeah,
make
that is the
foreign key.
yes, sir.
Okay. And the next one, how many of you able to create the project entities with association mapping, guys? How many of you able to create this with
I'm able to create, but the order table, I'm getting an issue while creating order table.
Okay.
I
Mapping.
created, sir.
Created, sir.
I created.
Created, sir.
Created?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, guys, first I'm going to create the backend API. Okay. So first I'm not going to create all the tables. First I am going to create product category and product table, and we will make our REST API ready with the product categories and product. Okay. So now step one, I'm going to create one Spring Boot application with below starters. So I'm going to use data JPA, which is used to communicate with the database table. Okay. And I'm going to use data REST concept. So in the yesterday Spring Boot class, I explained what is the data REST, which is used to perform CRUD operations with the table. So product category and product, there is no business logic, just we need to retrieve the records available in the table. So I'm going to use data REST concept, and I want to communicate with the MySQL database, and I want to use the dev tools. So I'm going to create one project with these 4 dependencies, guys. Create one Spring Boot application with below starters. What are those? Data JPA starter and data REST starter. I'm not adding WebMVC. I want to use the data REST concept in order to perform operations with our table. And I'm using dev tools, which is used to restart the server, and the MySQL connector I am using, which is used to communicate with the MySQL database. So to create the project, guys, I'm going to use initializer website, which is start.spring.io. Start.spring.io, Maven project, Spring Boot, group ID, in.ashokit.e-commerce. Okay, so artifact ID, so we can call this as e-commerce backend. E-commerce backend application we are developing. in.ashokit.e-commerce is the base package I am using. Right, my project group ID in.ashokit.ecom, e-commerce project that we are developing. Artifact means the project name. I'm using this as e-commerce underscore backend. Project package name also I'm using as in.ashokit.ecommerce. Packaging type jar, Java version 17. Adding the dependencies. So we are going to use data JPA to perform the operations with the table, and we are using data REST dependency, guys. Okay, REST repositories concept we are going to use, exposing data JPA repositories via REST using data REST concept. And I want to communicate with the MySQL database. MySQL driver I am adding. Then DevTools dependency I'm adding. Lombok also, if you want, you can use it. That's fine. I'm not adding any Lombok dependency. So total 4 dependencies I'm adding here, and click on generate. The project is downloaded in the form of a zip file. So let me import this project into my IntelliJ IDE. Okay. So let me go to downloads, e-commerce backend application. Let me extract this zip file. Extract to the backend application. Yes, so e-commerce backend application created. Let me take this project, go to our 27 JRTP. Okay, now, so here I'm going to keep this in a separate workspace. Okay, so which is major project. So in this major project, I'm keeping this e-commerce backend application. I want to import this project into IntelliJ IDEA. So let me open IntelliJ Community Edition. In the Community Edition, directly you cannot create the Spring Boot application. That's why by using starter website, I created my Spring Boot application. I downloaded that project, and I'm going to import that project into our IntelliJ IDEA. Right. So this is the path of our project. Now let me open this project now. Close the existing projects. File. Close this project. Yes. Now I need to open a project which is already available in my system. E-commerce backend application. Okay. Yes. Trust this project. Yes. It is opening this project, guys. Now, once this project is ready, once all the dependencies are downloaded, then we need to create the entity classes, guys. What are the entities we need to create? One is product category, another one is product. One is product category, another one is product we need to create. So to perform operations with the category, product category entity we need to create, and product entity we need to create. So to deal with the products, category table is required and product table is required. So 2 entities we are going to create. Now, so it is downloading all the required dependencies, guys. Maven build is in progress. Maven build is in progress. It is downloading all the required dependencies for our application. So whatever the dependencies we added, if you see in the pom.xml, starter data JPA is available. Starter data JPA is available, and starter data REST dependency available, and DevTools dependency is available. And MySQL connector is also available. What is the purpose of this data REST concept, guys? Anybody having idea? What is the purpose of data REST?
To build the REST APIs.
Yes, without creating the REST controller, we can perform the REST operations. By using repositories itself, we can perform the REST operations. We can expose our JPA repositories as REST API. So that's the reason we are using data REST. Now go to this one. Ecom is available. Let me create a new package called entity. I want to create my entities. Right. And I want to create my repositories. So I'm creating a new package .repo. Entities available, repository available. So let me create the entity classes now. I need two entities. One is product category entity. One is product category entity and another one is product entity. Product category entity, another one is product entity. Okay, first let me go to product category and product. So what is the information that we need to store? So let me go to the product entity. I want to represent this as an entity class. So for this I'm using @entity annotation. If you want to map it with a table, then you can map it with a table name, that is optional. Okay, so if I use @table, then I can give the name is equal to product. Otherwise it will take the class name as a table name. So what we need in the product table? So we need private long product ID, okay, and private string name of the product, and private string description of the product, private string title of the product, okay, title of the product, private big decimal unit price, big decimal unit price of the product we are going to take, okay, and product image URL we are going to take, private image URL, that is a string. Image will be stored into our file system and image URL will be stored into database, and private boolean whether this product is active product or not, and private int units in stock, private int units in stock, how many units available, and private date created, when this product got created, and private data last updated, private date last updated. So you can take local date or normal date, anything is fine, guys. Okay, you can take a local date or you can take a normal date also. Date SQL date we are taking. So this is SQL date we are taking. All right. Now, so I want to represent this as a primary key. For that we are using @ID. We are using @ID, and here we are going to use generated value for that. So as it is a MySQL database, we will use strategy as a identity. We will use strategy as a identity. So this is our product table, and this product is belongs to product category. Okay, multiple products belongs to one category. So I'm going to establish relationship with the product category. Private product category, I'm going to specify category here. What is the relationship here between the product and product category? It is many to one relation. Okay, multiple products belongs to single category, and join column I'm going to specify category ID. Join column, product join column name I'm going to specify as category ID, comma, nullable is equal to false. This value should not be null. So the relationship between product and product category, multiple products belongs to single category. So that's why I'm using many to one relationship. I'm using many to one relationship. So here giving the column name is optional. If you don't give the column name, it will take the variable name as a column name. It will take the variable name as a column name. So you no need to worry about that. So active switch, units in stock, date created, last updated date. So we are able to create our product entity. Similarly, product category. So to represent this as a entity class, we are using one annotation called @entity annotation, and table also optional. If you don't give the table name, it will take the class name as a table name. So which is product category table. So category ID, category name will be available. Okay, private long ID and private string category name. Category ID, category name. What is the relation between category and product? Okay, it is one to many. One category can have multiple products. Okay, so we can specify set of product, which is products. So one to many relationship will be available from category to product. One to many relationship. So this is mapped by category. So mapped by category. You can see that in the product table, what is the relationship? Category is available. So this is mapped by category. Cascade is equal to cascade type all. So I want to perform all the operations on the parent should reflect to the child. If a parent record is deleted, then its child records also should be deleted. So that is the meaning of this cascade all. All the operations of the parent table should reflect on the child also.
Sir, this is a product table or a category table, sir, or is it a joint table?
So this is a category. It is having one to many relationship with the product table. When you go for product table is having many to one relationship with the category table.
Okay, sir.
One category can have multiple products. Multiple products are belongs to single category. That is the relation.
Right,
Now,
sir. One category can have multiple products, right? Right, sir.
yes.
Why are we naming as product category.java, sir? That's where the naming is really confusing to me, sir.
Sir, class name you can use anything.
Right.
Sorry, this category ID column should be mentioned, right? Column name.
It can be anything.
But there we are mapping with the join column category underscore ID, right? So it should be category
No,
underscore ID.
whatever the column is available here, no need to be, the name should be same here. So in this table, it will be ID only. In this table, category ID column will contain this ID column value.
This ID, okay. Okay.
Generated value strategy is equal to identity generation we are going to specify. All right, product category is available. Okay, so which is having a primary key called product ID and category name is available, and one product category can have multiple products. So I'm taking set of products, that is one to many. You can take list of products also, no problem. And when you see from the product table, many to one, that means multiple products belongs to single category. So let me generate setters and getters here. Generate setters and getters for these variables.
So product category is basically category table, right, sir? It's same as category table.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, this is not microservice based project, no, sir.
So this, sir, every REST API is called as a microservice, sir. I'm not just using that service registry and all that stuff. Okay, every REST API is called as a microservice only. All good. So we are able to create this project and our entities are ready. Once entities are ready, then next, what is the third step, guys? We need to create our repository interfaces. Okay, step 1, we created the project. Step 2, created the entity classes. So this is our product category entity. Okay, this is our product category entity. I'm not giving the setters and getters for you. Yeah, next one, I have created one product table entity. So this contains all the information which is required for storing the product information. And there is a relationship, guys. Category table and product table having a relationship. category table having one too many. That means one category can have multiple products. And when you go to the product table, many to one, multiple products belongs to single category. If you see the relation from the product table, it is many to one. If you see the relation from the category table, it is many to one relation. Are you able to understand this association mapping?
Yes, bidirectional mapping for both the classes.
Correct. Once it is done, now we need to create our repository interfaces, guys. In order to perform operations with the table, we need to create the repository interfaces. Okay, so there are two entities available. For these two entities, we are going to create two repository interfaces. Now go to here, repository package available, new interface I'm going to create, product category repository. One is product category repository and the next one is product repository. Product category repository and product repository. So to make them as a repositories, we are going to extend the properties from JPA repository. Okay, and what is the entity? So it is belongs to product category and primary key type I have given as long. Similarly, product repository extends the properties from JPA repository, extends the properties from JPA repository, and the entity is product, comma, its data type is long. All right. Now, so once it is ready, then we need to represent them as REST repositories, guys. I don't want to create a REST controller separately to perform the CRUD operations. I want to expose my repository as
Hello,
a,
sir. Sir,
yes,
sir, why we don't use Spring Web, sir?
Spring.
Web.
Yeah, that is what I'm telling you. So Spring Web, if you are using, you need to develop your own REST controller. You need to write all the methods on your own. Okay. So here, whenever we are talking about product category and product, do you have any business logic or only CRUD operations?
Only CRUD operations.
So if you create your own REST controller, lot of code you need to write. Insert product, update product, delete product, retrieve product, find product by category, find product by ID. So you need to write around 150 to 200 lines of code. So instead of that, simply we are going to use one annotation called repository REST resource concept. Okay. So if you use repository REST resource concept, then you no need to write the REST controller. Are you clear with my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I'm specifying this as a repository REST resource concept. So this one I'm using a annotation called repository REST resource. What is the meaning of repository REST resource? This is used to expose our repository as a REST controller. You no need to create separate REST controller in order to perform the operation. So whatever the repository that you are creating, JPA repository you are creating, that JPA repository you can expose as a REST controller. So that is the reason I am using repository REST resource annotation. To use this repository REST resource annotation, I have added one dependency called data REST dependency. In the yesterday Spring Boot class only, I have explained this part. Okay. So data REST dependency, I'm not using web starter. If you want to create your own REST controller, then you will go for the web starter. I don't want to create my own REST controller. Whatever the repository is available, that repository I'm exposing as a REST API. So for that repository REST resource annotation I'm using. To use that annotation, we need to add data REST dependency in the pom.xml. Are you guys able to follow me? Are you guys able to follow me?
Sir, this
Yes, sir.
scenario using while using CRUD operations only, we are using data rest dependencies, sir.
Correct.
So this annotation we have not used so far, right, sir? This repository
Yeah, first
REST
time we are
resource.
using.
Okay, sir. So instead of REST controller, we are using this one, sir, or no,
Instead
this
of
is in
REST
the
controller, we are using this one.
inside the repository interface.
Correct.
So why are we using this new one, sir? Because it will.
Sir, I already told you, instead of creating our own REST controller, we can expose this repository as a REST controller. You no need to write your own methods to perform the CRUD operations.
So we don't need to have a controller layer now, right now, sir.
No,
Directly everything is taken.
controller layer, service layer not required.
Oh, everything is taken care here.
Everything will be taken care by this one annotation.
Oh,
Earlier,
okay.
we need to create a REST controller, we need to create a service, and we need to perform the operations with the table. But now,
Right.
directly by using this annotation, you can perform the CRUD operations.
So this is with the Spring Boot latest version, sir. Which
No,
version
sir.
onwards?
Previous version onwards, it is available.
Okay.
Sir, are you following monolithic architecture? Because I was
Sorry,
concerned.
sir.
We are following monolithic architecture, right?
Your voice is not clear for me.
Sir,
So
he's asking whether you are creating using monolithic architecture
No,
or
sir. It's not monolithic architecture, sir. So, first thing that you need to understand, every REST API is called as one microservice. Monolithic architecture means if you develop front end, back end, everything in single project, that is called monolithic architecture. You got my point?
yes, in backend also every model should be a separate service, right?
Sir, am I writing everything in one service? This is just product category and product only. This is one REST API. Okay. Monolithic and microservices, first you need to understand what is the difference between that. If you create front end, back end, database layer, everything in the single UI, including UI, if you create everything in one project, that is called monolithic architecture. Microservice nothing but a REST API. One REST API is called as one microservice. So here I'm not developing a monolithic application. I'm developing a REST API only. And this is advanced concept in the REST API development. We no need to create our own REST controller. We can use simply repository REST resource annotation so that you can skip REST controller and service layer development. It will take care of CRUD operations for your REST API. Is my point clear for you?
Yeah, but we are not using the design patterns which are present in microservices like API gateway or.
We will use that, sir. So this is not, today is not the end of the project. Today is just a starting point.
Okay.
Right? Today is just starting point. We are working on the API development. Once all the APIs are ready, then we will show you API gateway integration for that.
So here we have created all the entity in single entity folder package, sir.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
How many entities I created?
2 entities.
So do you want me to create product in one project, category in another project?
No. But we have
do
other.
the separate, we can add mapping.
Sir, first of all, product and product category, do you want me to develop them as two different microservices?
No. If you develop the different microservices, you can add the mapping.
There is some relationship between the tables. How can you create them in two different projects? So these are two entity classes belongs to one functionality, product functionality, product catalog functionality. So you can't keep them in the separate project. We need to keep them in the single project only. You got it?
Okay.
Yeah. So what is the purpose of repository REST resource annotation, guys?
Only
What is
REST
the
API.
purpose of repository REST resource annotation?
Only perform CRUD operations.
Yes, it is used to expose our REST repository, our JPA repository as a REST controller. We no need to write a separate method. We no need to write the separate REST controller. We no need to write, what is that? We don't need to write a REST controller. We don't need to write a service. Our repository can be exposed as a REST API directly. So for this, I'm using repository REST resource concept. Okay. Now let me go to MySQL database. I need to create one database for this. In order to start my application, database properties I have to configure, and I will see whether my tables are getting created as expected or not.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, with microservice, are we using Saga design pattern also?
Kafka, sir. Yes. Saga design pattern means when you are having Kafka integration, then Saga pattern we will use.
Okay, okay. And in this singleton factory and observer design pattern is also there included into it or no?
Which one?
Singleton factory.
Singleton by default, every Spring Bean is singleton bean only. You don't need to write separate logic for that.
Okay. And abstract factory.
All these things, sir.
Okay.
For intercommunication, which API you use?
Guys, I told you for microservices, so there is no fixed architecture. It's not mandatory that we need to use all the concepts in every project. First, let me complete this project. Okay, first I'm developing at one microservice. So let me complete this. Then we will see whatever the doubts you have, I will clarify those things. Okay. Yeah. I have created one new database, which is Ashok ID underscore e-commerce database I created. Now this database I will configure in my application. Application and properties file is available. I need to configure my data source properties here. Data source URL, username, password, and all that stuff. So I created a new database. So the database name is Ashok ID underscore ecom. So I'm configuring that database name here, and my database username and my database password. So in this system, my database username is root and my database password is also root. Username and password I am configuring. If tables are not available, those tables should be created. Auto DDL I am taking, and show SPL also I'm going to configure, so that whatever the queries it is generating, those queries should be printed on the console. And here REST controllers are not available. So I'm going to configure the URL pattern for this REST API development. Spring dot data dot rest dot base path. Every endpoint you need to access by using the URL pattern as /API. Okay, so here we don't have any REST controller. Directly our repository is available. Product repository available. Product category repository is also available. So what we are trying to do, whatever the repositories are available, those repositories we are exposing as a REST API directly. Whatever the repository available, we are exposing our repository as a REST API directly, so that we are able to remove 100+ lines of code from our application. Okay, so for the repository REST resource, I'm going to specify the collection resource URL. When we are getting a category, for one category, multiple products will be available. So I'm going to specify that resource name as a product category, and path of this product category, I can specify product-category. What is the URL pattern? So if you want to access categories, now I configure one base path. My base path is /API, then /API/product category, which is going to perform operations with the product category repository. So for product category, I'm not going to create a REST controller. Whatever the repository available, this repository I'm going to access to perform CRUD operations with that. So earlier we used to develop the REST controllers and services manually, but it's not required because there is no business logic here. There is no business logic here. Just we need to retrieve the data and we need to insert the data in the table. For that, creating the REST controller not required. We can simply do that with the repository REST resource concept. We can simply do that with the repository REST resource concept. Now let me run this application and let me check it. Is it really working as expected or not? Go to this application. Run this project. To JPA repositories, it is able to recognize, and it is creating the database connections. It is failed. Product does not exist. Now go to database. Use this database. Show tables. Product category table is available. Product table is not created. Select a star from product category. Category ID, category name, it is created, but product table is not created. Create a table product category, alter table product. Okay, error executing. Create a table product, image URL, date, name. It is failing to create a product table, guys. Create a table, primary key product ID. There is some mistake in our column names. That's why it is not able to create the product table. Integer not null. Product active. Date created. Description.
Because DSC, it is
Yeah,
taking as
DSC is a predefined keyword in the
keyword.
database. That's why
Yes, sir.
it is failing. So we need to change this from DESC to description. Yes. Variable name should be description, guys.
Sir, in the error message, does it talk about DESC, sir? I didn't say anything about DESC in the error message, right, sir? How did you come to know about that error, sir?
So table, when I observe the table, DESC is a predefined keyword in the database. It will not tell you that this is a mistake, but we need to identify that.
So
Table
it didn't
creation query is failed. So when I observe that query, I am able to see that DESC column name is available. So that is not accepted for that column name in the database.
Right, so but in the error message, it didn't say anything about that, like it's
It will
predefined
not
or
say
anything.
that, sir. It will not say. You need
Sir,
to
while
identify
setting
that.
the
Okay.
setters, that did not change, sir.
Sorry?
While doing setters in that, while setting description name doesn't change.
Setter method not changed.
Yes, sir. This desk only there.
Okay. Set a description, get a description. Set a description, get a description, this dot description. Okay. Now go to that start class of the application. Run this. So it should create the two tables. Application started. Show tables. Yeah. So we are able to see product table and product category table, guys. So product select star from product category. Category ID and category name is available. Now simply go for select star from product table. Now in the product table, ID, date created, description, last update, name, title, price, stock, category ID. Category ID, which is a foreign key, guys. So category table ID, we are storing that as a foreign key in the product table as a category ID. Now currently we don't have any data in the database. So let me insert some dummy data in the table. Okay, let me insert some dummy data in the table. Here we need to change this to instead of disk, I will give it as a description now. So create the repository interfaces. So I created repository interfaces. One thing that you need to remember, I am using repository REST resource. So why I am using repository REST resource? I don't want to create the REST controller. So that's why I'm using repository REST resource. Now I want to see really this REST resource concept is working or not. For that, I'm going to insert some dummy data in the table and I will test it. My API is working as expected or not. So go to database. Let me insert one record into category table. Select star from product category. Select star from product category. Currently there is no data available. Let me insert one record into category table. Okay. So to insert the record into category table, I will write one insert query, insert into table values, right? So I'm going to insert multiple records into our category table. Good. Insert into product category, the category name. First one I will take as a laptop and the second one I will take as something like mobiles. Third one I will take something like shirts or whatever that is required. And so three types of categories I'm going to insert. Okay, so these are the queries. Insert into product category name. ID is a primary key auto increment, so no need to insert. So laptops, mobiles and shirts. Okay, now select star from product category. So we are able to see that there are three records available in the category table. There are three records available in the category table. Now we need to see really this category REST API is working as expected or not. There is no REST controller. There is no REST controller. Still, can we perform operations with this REST API? Go to Postman and verify category table is working as expected or not. Category REST repository available. Are we able to retrieve the data from the category repository? Let us try to understand. So I'm opening my Postman. Let me test it. Guys, do I have REST controller? I don't have a REST controller to test it. Do I have a REST controller or I don't have a REST controller to test it?
We don't have, sir.
We don't have, sir.
Okay. So it is running with the port number, default port number, which is 8080. I did not change any port number. It is running with the default port number 8080. Now go for 8080. The base path I have given, if you see in my properties file, for a REST resource base path I have given /API, okay, / product category repository is available. So for the product category repository, what is the path I have given? Product-category I have given. So take this path and send the request. HTTP GET request I am sending. And can you see that? Are we able to retrieve all the product categories from the table? So one of the category that is laptop, another category that is mobiles, another category shirts. So total there are three categories available. I'm able to retrieve all the categories from the table by using this URL pattern. So my API is running. This is one microservice, guys. This is one REST API. We can call it as a microservice. But we have not developed any REST controller. The reason is repository REST resource concept I'm using. which is used to expose our JPA repositories as REST controllers directly. For this, I have given the path as product category and product entity available, product entity having product repository. Product repository also I configured as a repository REST resource. Now, in the product table, there is no data. For this entire application, I have given the base path as /API. For this entire application, I have given the base path as API. So localhost colon 8080/API/product category. When I send that request, I'm getting some response. All the product categories I'm able to retrieve from the postman. Without developing the REST controller, we are able to access. And now see, if I want to get only particular category with the ID, send the request product category /1. /1 means category ID 1. In our table, select star from category. The one ID belongs to laptop. Okay, I'm able to retrieve category /1, send the request. I'm able to retrieve the category laptops. I'm able to retrieve the category laptops here, category ID 1. So if I send category as 2, which will give me the second category, the second category name is mobiles. If I send 3 in the URL, I will get the category as shirts, which is the third category. So if you don't give any ID, then it is going to retrieve all the categories which are available in the table. Sorry, /API/product category. If I send this request without passing any ID in the URL, it is giving me product category array. So this name is coming here because I configured that name as a collection resource URL. So whatever the name you configure, that name will be displayed here. And if I don't pass any ID, all the categories are coming. If I pass ID as 1, the first product category record is coming. If I pass 2, second category record will come. If I pass 3, third category record will come. Suppose if I send delete request, then /3 delete, click on send. I'm trying to send a delete request. Now go to the database, select star from category. Now only 2 records available. That third category record got deleted. Third category record got deleted. Suppose if I send delete request with the category ID as 2, that second category will be deleted. Mobiles category deleted. Select star from product category, mobiles category deleted. Only laptop category is available. Suppose if I send delete request with category ID 1, click on send. That category got deleted. Go to database. Now my table is empty. We are able to retrieve the data and we are able to delete the data by using repository REST resource. Suppose if you want to insert the data, that is also possible. You can send a post request which is used to insert the data. So let me send a post request to insert the data. Click on post, go to body. In the body, send category name is equal to ID. I no need to send, it is a primary key. Category name is equal to something like groceries. I'm sending. Category name I'm sending as groceries. Go to this table, select star from category. Category table is empty. There is no data available. So what I will do? I am going to send a post request to the product API category post request with the raw JSON data. Category name I am sending. Click on send. So it should insert the record. I'm getting the response 201 record is created. Go to the database. Select star from category. Groceries record is inserted. So similarly, go to the postman and I want to insert another record. This is something like headphones. Okay, I want to insert one category with a name called headphones. Click on send. The record is inserted. Go to the database. Start from category. Groceries available, headphones available. So like this, you can insert the record into table and you can retrieve the records from the table. Get categories. Now it will retrieve all the categories. There are 2 categories available. So one is groceries category. Another one is headphones category available. If you don't want any category, then you send the delete request with the category ID 5, which is available, deleted, and go for category 4, delete. All the categories are deleted. Now try to retrieve category empty. There is no data available. Okay, no resource found exception, because boss, whatever you are trying to access, there is no data available in that. So sorry, get request, product category get request. Now product category array we are getting as a empty. So now tell me, in order to perform these basic CRUD operations, do we need to develop a REST controller with 10 methods? Create method, insert method, update method, delete method, retrieve method, find by ID, find by name. Do I need to write a method separately to perform these CRUD operations, or simply we can use this repository REST resource concept, which is
We can
recommended,
use that.
guys? So whatever the operations that I am doing from the postman, if you want to develop those kind of operations by using REST controller, how many methods are required and how many lines of code you need to write?
200.
For inserting the record, one method. For updating the record, one method. To retrieve all the records, one method. To retrieve the record by using ID, one method. To retrieve the record based on the name, one method. Total 5 methods in the controller, 5 methods in the service. 10 methods. In every method, if you take at least 5 lines, 10 methods into 5 lines, then you need to write 10 methods into 5 lines, 50 lines of code you need to write. But here, am I writing any line of code to perform the CRUD operations, or I'm using simple one annotation to perform the CRUD operations? So whatever the annotation I'm using, that annotation is equal to 50 lines of code.
Sir, here you are searching by ID, right? So if we want to search by like category name or something, so do we need to
Custom method we need to write for that.
Okay, so for that we need to write.
Sir, I tried this. Product category is getting created automatically. Why product is not creating in the SQL product table?
Sorry?
Product category table is created automatically. Why product table is not getting created?
Sir, it is also created automatically. Earlier, our column name was wrong. So I changed the column name to description. Now both tables created automatically. Did I create these tables, or these tables created automatically? Category table and product table.
Automatically created.
Both tables created. First time when I run the application, I got the exception because of this column name, invalid column name. After that, I changed the column name, and when I start the application, both tables created automatically. You got my point?
So before inserting the headphones
Yes,
and
yes.
one more thing, we got product category columns as like nothing, no, null, no. We
Yes.
already have laptops, mobiles, shirts, right? Why we got like that?
Those are deleted now.
I deleted the data.
Okay.
I deleted the data and I inserted the data. First I inserted, then I deleted, then again I inserted. I'm doing CRUD operations, that's it.
So you can directly you can take the data from using Postman, sir.
So from the postman, I'm inserting the data and I'm retrieving the data and I'm deleting the data. You can update the data also.
Oh.
Sir,
Hmm.
if we write custom query in a repository, then we need to write logic for that custom query, or we can directly find name.
No, sir, you don't need to write the logic for that. JPA will take care of that.
Suppose if you want to search category by name.
Correct. You can do that. I will do that. I will do that.
Okay.
Guys, are you able to understand what is the concept of this repository REST resource? If you don't understand this concept, then you can't develop this microservice. Are you able to understand what is repository REST resource concept?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can anyone tell me what is the purpose of repository REST resource concept?
We build a REST APIs on top of the data
repository as
repository.
REST controller, sir.
Sorry?
We build a REST APIs on top of the data repositories.
Yes, it is used to.
Without controlling the REST controller and services, we can perform the CRUD operation by using at the rate of repository REST controller.
Sorry, can you come again?
Yeah, sir. By using at the rate of repository REST controller, we have no need to create the REST controller and service classes. We can directly expose our API.
Okay. The repository, whatever the repository we are having, we can directly expose that repository as a REST API. No need to create the REST controller, no need to create the service. So if you create the REST controller, what is the challenge here? Why we are not creating the REST controller here?
Repeated code, sir.
Why we are not creating the REST controller here?
For reducing the code.
We are just creating, we are doing the code operations, so no need to create the controller and services.
If you have the requirement to develop a business logic, then you need to create your REST controller, your service and all. But our requirement is just inserting the category, retrieve the category. Insert the product, retrieve the product. There is no complex business logic, just CRUD operations. Just to perform the CRUD operations, repository REST resource concept is sufficient. Okay, good. Now,
So if you want to change any business logic, then we need to override the methods and then we need to implement over.
so if you, what do you mean by changing the logic? What can you tell me the requirement? I will tell you the solution.
Okay, so if we want like any filtering operation, all those things will be performed on the front
Then
end
you
side.
should not go for this concept. Then you need to create your REST controller.
Okay.
You got my point?
Yeah, here in our case, like we are performing filtering operations and all in the front end side.
Correct.
Like so, in order to perform the category filtration or like a products filtration, example I'm saying.
Custom methods I will write. So it is not completed. Just I'm showing you what is REST repository. So I'm able to perform operations with the product category, and I will insert some product records, and we will set the records based on the category, based on the category ID, based on the category name. We can do some custom operations also. For that, REST controller not required. Those are custom methods we can write in the repository itself.
Sir, why is pass two parameter, which is collection resource and path?
Path is basically the URL pattern for this repository. Collection resource means whenever you send the request, it will show you the collection resource name here. So that means just to show the key in the response, I'm using collection resource. Path is basically how to send a request to this category repository. For that, I'm giving the path. So now for the product, I'm not giving the path. So if you want to give me the path, then we can give for that also. Go to the product repository. Where is that? Product repository. For the product repository, you can specify the path is equal to products. So here product or products, anything you can specify. If you don't specify the path, by default it will take your entity class name as a URL pattern, because when you create a REST controller, for class level you can give the URL, method level also you can give the URL. But here there is no REST controller, that's why for the repository is exposing as a REST API. That's why we are giving the path for that. You can give the path like this, products.
Sir, path I understood, but that first one I didn't get it. When which scenario?
Sir, can you see the name here, line number 3?
Yes.
This is the name that I configured, collection resource name. So whenever you send a request for the product category, that is going to give you the child records, product records also. Na? So this collection resource, if you don't give this also, no problem.
Sir, this okay, because this name I was wondering is the same name JP repository pass na product categories.
No. This is just to display the output. Whatever the response that you want to display, for that I have used it.
Okay, so it is required only for path name. Otherwise, if you don't want to give explicitly path name, so no need to require also path, right?
No. You can try this. I removed that now. Let me try this by running the application.
Sir, is path should be matched with entity class name?
Not required. Path can be anything. You can give any name for the path. Path you can configure anything.
So can we say that this path is same as request mapping that we use at
Yes.
class level?
Yes, sir. Request mapping URL pattern. But the path is basically URL pattern.
Yeah.
My application is started. Go to table, check the data. Start from category. Table is empty. Let me insert these 3 records. 3 records inserted. Start from category. 3 records available. Send the request. Yes. So we are getting product categories, category name. The collection resource URL, whatever that I have given, that is optional. It's not required. You can just specify the URL pattern of your repository. Okay. Category name is coming as laptops, mobiles available, and shirts available. There are 3 categories available. If you send a request with /1, it will get only first category. Product category /1. Okay, with 1 there is no record, I think so.
ID 1 is not there, sir.
ID is 6 available now. Because we inserted and we deleted the records, right? Yeah. ID 6 belongs to laptops. Similarly, 7 belongs to mobiles. Mobiles category is coming. Let's go for 8. Then it is giving shirts. So 3 categories are available. So with this, now can I insert the record, update the record, delete the record, and retrieve the records, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now
sir.
tell me, how many lines of code we are writing to develop a REST API to perform CRUD operations, guys?
Just an annotation.
1 line.
To insert, update, delete, retrieve, database logic queries we are not writing. To expose this as a REST API, controller methods also we are not writing. This 1 line of annotation is equal to 200 lines. So you need to create a REST controller, you need to create your repositories, you need to create service classes, database drivers, database connections, statement queries. Everything is automated. If you write one repository with 1 annotation, that is sufficient to perform the CRUD operations, which will make your application as a REST API. So we are able to test this REST API from the Postman. We are sending GET request, post request, put request, and delete request. So when you want to perform only CRUD operations with the application, then this is the best option for you. No need to create a REST controller. Now in
sorry to interrupt you. So only CRUD operation. If you want to
Yes.
implement any kind of business logic in this application, so you cannot go with the repository
No,
REST
that is what,
resources path.
yeah, that is what I'm trying to say. In which
Okay.
scenario we need to go for REST repositories? In which scenario we need to go for REST controller? In which scenario we need to go for repository REST resource? In which scenario we need to go for REST controller? Come
Only
on.
CRUD operations is there.
Only CRUD
Go
operation
with,
without
repository
any
REST
business
resource.
logic.
Yes, when you want to perform only CRUD operations, then REST repository concept is sufficient. When you want to perform operations with some business logics, then you need to create the REST controller. Is this clear for everybody?
Sir, in case in our application,
Yes, sir.
both service log, business logic, and CRUD operation is available.
I did not
At
get
that time, you cannot even go with the repository REST resources, I guess.
Suppose, sir, in our applications, both has business logic and CRUD operation. So in that,
then
Go for the custom REST control class.
REST controller you need to create, sir.
okay.
Oh, I mean,
That's what I
they
was
both
trying
can't
to ask.
they both can't go hand in hand, sir. Right, sir?
Right.
So suppose we are using REST resource and REST control both together, it should be possible or not?
Possible, sir. You can do it.
For business logic, we have to create REST controller.
Yes.
Sir, while using both REST resource and REST controller, in that time we did not write the methods for CRUD operations, or we have to write that.
Yes, for CRUD operations, you can use the REST repository. For your custom business operations, you can use REST controller.
In that time we did not write the code for CRUD operations. So
No, no need to write because it is already providing the logic for you, na?
Yes, sir.
Guys, are you able to understand what is REST repository?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anybody having any question? What is REST repository? Why I am using REST repository here?
For code operation.
No need to write the so many lines of code, only to perform CRUD operations. Okay. Suppose, for example, I want to place the order. I want to take the payment from the customer. In that scenario, can I go for REST repository for the
No.
payment processing and all?
No.
No, sir.
No. Why?
Because there we have to write our business logic.
There we need to write our business logic. When we
Yes,
want to write our business logic, then we should go for REST controller.
REST control.
For this product functionality, this REST repository is sufficient.
Sir, can we use both?
I told you, yes, it is possible.
Could you explain, please, in what are the card operations, what are the business logics? Can you explain some examples, sir?
Example, yes, sir.
We will come to that, sir. So if you see our application, we need to display categories and products. For the categories and products, only cloud operations will be available. When we go for you order purchase, when we go for payment processing, for those things, business operations will be available. For those things, I will develop the REST controllers. Today is not the end of the project. It is just a starting point. We are going to work with the project for another 2 weeks of time. In these 2 weeks, you will see both scenarios.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what I have done so far, today, I just created one Spring Boot application. The new thing that we have done today, I used data REST dependency, which is used to create the REST repositories in the application. Then I created entity classes. One is a category entity, another one is a product entity. And there is a relationship between the category and product. One category can have multiple products also. That's why from category to product, it is one-to-many relationship, and product is available. Multiple products belongs to single category, so it is many-to-one relationship. Then I'm creating repository interfaces. So REST repository resource I am using here, and for this one, I'm giving the path as product category. For the products also, you can specify the path, but it is optional. So if you give path is equal to this one, products, anything is fine. Then next one, configure data source properties. Configure data source properties. Configure data source properties in properties file. By default in the Spring Boot, application.properties file will be available. In that properties file, I have configured my database properties. So when I'm configuring the database properties, I have given API base path also. So what is the starting URL pattern of the API? The API base path I have given as a /API. So when you are sending a request, you need to send the request with a /API/product category. Suppose if I send the request with the /products, currently there are no records available in the product table. That's why products are coming as empty. Okay, run the application and check tables are getting created or not. So once these 4 steps are completed, then the fifth step is run the application and test tables creation. Once the tables are created successfully, now step 6, insert the dummy data. Insert the data in the category and product table using Postman. Okay, insert data into DB tables using SQL queries. Okay, then step 7, we need to test this API by using Postman. Test API functionality using Postman. Okay, I'm able to insert few records into category table, and I'm able to test the API card operations working or not by using Postman. Okay, still our API is not completed, so we need to do some customization in the API. I want to get the products based on the category. I want to get the products based on the category name. Some customization also we need to do in our API. API is not completed, just basic part we have done today. So creating a project with these dependencies, creating the entity classes with association mapping, creating the repositories, that too those are REST repositories, no need of writing REST controller. And we configured data source properties in the properties file, and we are able to run the application, and we are able to see both tables are created in the database table, and I have inserted category table data manually by using SQL query, and I'm able to test the API functionality. That insertion we can do from the Postman also. I'm able to insert the records from the Postman as well. I'm able to perform basic CRUD operations by using Postman. So today I want you people to work on this development and play with the API from the Postman. Tomorrow I will explain how to customize this API, how to write our own methods to retrieve the records based on the how to filter the records based on the category ID and based on the category name. So tomorrow we will complete this API. Once this API completed, then we will develop the front-end application in order to display the products and the categories and the search functionality. Back-end and front-end both we are going to develop parallelly. Then you will get better clarity on the full stack development. Can you guys complete these 7 steps today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Insert the
Yes,
data.
sure,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You need
Sure,
to
sure,
insert the
definitely.
data by writing SQL queries, and you need to test the API from the Postman. Okay.
Yes, sir, one clarification. So actually, we are going to develop the both, I think, front end and back end parallelly. We will complete the entire project. So
Yes,
then
sir.
only we will go with that thing, logging and metrics, all those things, right? We will add one by one.
Yes, sir. Whatever you see in that project video, right? Everything we are going to develop parallelly.
Okay, parallel. So okay, so then only we'll go with the Dockerize and Kubernetes. So
Yes, sir.
finally,
Once everything is completed, then Dockerization is a deployment process, right? Once everything is ready, then we will use Docker and we will use Kubernetes, we'll use Jenkins, and we'll do the deployment.
okay, metrics, all those things, the TLK,
Yeah.
Elasticsearch.
So
Okay,
whatever the video I have given, project architecture video, everything we are going to develop in the class.
okay, okay. In on-premises. Okay, then only we'll go with the cloud deployment.
First we'll develop in the local, then final deployment we will do in the cloud by using all the tools.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir. So yeah, so here I think so we are going to use I think Spring Cloud OpenVPN, right, for all communication. So where we will use Kafka actually?
Sir, I will tell you, sir, if I tell everything now, you will get confused. Step by step, we are going to develop and I will integrate it.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay, so we have 2 weeks of time.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Good.
Hello, sir.
All of you, please work on these steps today. Whatever the 7 steps I have given, I want all of you to complete these 7 steps before coming to tomorrow's session.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Right now you are in this REST resources. Right now you are from the URL only you are adding the categories and all. So maybe later stages we have to add some authentication for this. Like anybody, like
Sorry.
no. At this stage, right now you are adding the categories via the URL, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Maybe in the later stages we have to add some authentication to prevent the.
We will do that, sir. We will do that. This is just basic practice.
Yeah.
Just to habituate with the REST repository.
All right. Thank you.
One quick question, sir.
Guys,
One
1
last.
minute, guys. 1 minute.
Okay. Hey guys, anybody can answer my questions. What is the difference between like running the applications in normally as a Spring Boot versus in the debug mode? Like, sure, just run the application in debug mode, right? Without any breakpoints.
Sorry, can you come again?
So I'm asking what is the difference if you run the application in normally you run it as a Spring Boot application, right? Versus in debug mode.
Yeah,
What is the difference?
actually, yeah, the best main difference, but there is the major difference, na? If you are just running application in the only normal mode, application will simply run. Okay, if you just apply their debugger point, so you can see the flow of an application.
you do not have any like breakpoints, right? Debug points, but
Yeah,
running the application in debug
Yeah,
mode.
if you don't have any debug points, it will run on the same normal application.
yeah.
Okay. Does not make any difference, right?
Yes, guys, tell me now.
I was asking, sir, what is the difference if you run the application normally as a Spring Boot versus if you do not have any breakpoints, but you run the application in debug mode?
No, there is no difference.
No difference, right?
No difference.
I saw you just run the application in debug mode, so I was wondering what's the difference between it.
There's no difference. If you run or if you run in the debug mode, there is no difference when you don't have breakpoints. Okay. Any other question, anyone?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, hi, sir. All of you good? If you are good, then please work on that project before coming to tomorrow's session.
Sir, one more thing I want to ask, what design patterns are included into it? And that one more question I want to ask.
We will include API gateway, we will include Kafka, we will include Redis, we will include circuit breaker, Saga, and all.
Okay. And strategy also is included or no?
Yes, we'll include that.
Okay.
Okay.
So when Spring Security is going to start?
So once all the implementation is completed, we will do that, or else in the upcoming weekend, I will plan that security class. In the major project,
Okay, sir.
in our project, we are going to include that part.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, come on, guys. Yes, any questions?
Sir, we have to set intranet project intro or no?
No, sir. E-commerce will be internet application only.
Okay, then they will ask no that is that project live or in development stage?
I will do the live URL for that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you, guys. Please play with these API repositories and perform the CRUD operations before coming to tomorrow's session. Thank you.